Justin Verlander has officially been traded to the Astros. Today I want to talk about why this trade is really good for the Mets and also good for the Astros, and kind of just break it all down, because if you guys do not know, the Astros are giving up prospect Drew Gilbert, which is one of the people that was really highly scouted in their prospect pool, and honestly a guy that a lot of people were hoping wouldn't get traded. Now, with that being said, why is this so good for the Astros? Well, let's break it down for you, because I think it's pretty obvious. JV has played with the Astros a ton of years in his career. The dude has 2 World Series rings with them, and honestly he's coming off of a World Series ring last year, and of course the Cy Young. I think this is a no-brainer move for the Astros, and I generally think this is probably the best case scenario, especially if you're in that front office or just a fan of the Astros. Now, JV of course has had his rough times this year, and honestly looks like sometimes he isn't performing as you would expect, but still, it's Justin Verlander. He's a Hall of Fame pitcher. He just reached 250 wins the other day with the Mets, and him going back to the Astros is exactly what the Astros need to really put them back into that scary position as a team. Now, of course, injuries are a thing, and the Astros dealt with that earlier this year, but I think adding Justin Verlander back into your rotation is something perfect that any Astro fan will pretty much enjoy, because you're kind of going to have an ace caliber pitcher pitching every week right now. I mean, of course, your rotation is still really good, but having that Cy Young reigning pitcher that you guys lost in free agency come back on top of having a year of control next year should be amazing for your franchise, and honestly something that will be really looked at going into the playoffs this year. Now, of course, I think Justin Verlander has had his great games in the playoffs, and I think going back to the Astros will pretty much revitalize his energy. I think the tenure with the Mets wasn't as great as a lot of people expected. Dude was only a Met for around 250 something days. He had his ups and downs, like I said, and I think if you're a Mets fan, you should kind of be okay with this, and let me explain why. You guys sold Scherzer the other day, and honestly selling Scherzer should have been a big sign that apparently the Mets just don't feel like they can make it or go for it this playoffs. Now, unfortunately, there's been some rumors coming out as well that Pete Alonso has apparently been on the trading block for the last week, and honestly, letting Justin Verlander go is probably best case scenario, because you're going to be getting 2 prospects in return. Now, you should be happy with Drew Gilbert. This guy is doing really well in Double-A ball. He's been in the minor league since 2022, if I'm not mistaken. The dude is 22 years old. He currently is sitting at a 274 average, a 363 OBP, and an 821 OPS. Right now, he's currently only in Double-A ball, and I think that's okay, because this guy could impact the Mets as soon as next year or in 2025. Drew Gilbert is someone that the Astros fan base really wanted to keep, just because he has the potential to do really well. The dude was a first-round pick in 2022, and honestly, a lot of people did not want to see him go. Now, Mets fans, you should be very happy for this, because first of all, you're getting a player that was a first-round pick, and of course, you're getting a prospect back in this Justin Verlander deal, but you got to think about the bright side. You're going to have a young core team with someone like a Drew Gilbert that comes up in a year or two, and honestly, this guy's going to have tons of years of control, and if he could put at least in a minimum amount of offense for your team when he ends up coming up, I think you should be happy with this guy. A lot of people were expecting Justin Verlander to get traded, and you needed something very good. And a lot of people wanted Drew Gilbert if you're a Mets fan. I think this is perfect for you guys. You guys do not also know Drew Gilbert actually represented the Astros in this year's Futures game, so that just gives you more reasons to want this guy on your team. This guy is going to come up and be a star, in my opinion. I think this is a perfect fit for the New York Mets. On top of Drew Gilbert, you're getting the number 4 prospect in the Astros system, Ryan Clifford. Now, if you guys don't know, Drew Gilbert is the number 1 scouted prospect in their farm system, and Ryan Clifford is the 4th. This guy is super young. I mean, dude, he was born in 2003. The kid is 20 years old. He has a 291 average, a 399 OBP, and a 919 OPS in high A affiliate. Now, I think this is a great fit. I mean, this guy unfortunately isn't going to be very useful till 2026, 2027. That's kind of what they have him projected as for his future. And I think if anything, if Ryan Clifford doesn't amount to anything with the Mets farm system, I mean, this guy will probably get flipped next deadline or in 2025. I mean, I think this is a great fit for the Mets. I think you should be happy. You're getting a lot of young players to really build up that farm, and I think you should just be happy with this. This is just my raw reactions. I think JV going back to the Astros is perfect, especially if the Astros want to make a real push for the playoffs this year. And I genuinely think Justin Verlander is going to be excited. Dude, he just won a World Series there. He signed a ton of money. He made a ton of money when he signed with the Mets this offseason. And of course, the Mets are still going to be paying a lot of that salary, and the Astros, of course, are going to be paying a little bit of it. But I think Justin Verlander is going to be ecstatic to be back at a place he won 2 rings with, and of course he wants to win, another. So I think Justin Verlander is a perfect scenario for him. He's going back to a team that he loves, the fan base that he loves, and also I think he is okay with his Mets tenure. I don't think he's proud per se, but maybe he just thought, a change of scenery would be nice. It would be nice to go back to my old team and my old coaches. And I think if you're an Astros fan, man, you're just happy. I know as a Yankees fan, we're gonna see him this weekend and it's gonna be bad, but I'm all for it. I want the Astros to go out and be competitive. I think it's great for the sport of baseball. And I think the Mets, it's okay, man. I think this is great because Steve Cohen is cutting ties. He realized that the 2 horsemen that he hired is just not going to work out. Of course, that started with Scherzer, and of course now with Verlander gone, I think it's pretty obvious. Steve Cohen is making it obvious to the fans that he is willing to cut ties and, take that money loss. I mean, he's a billionaire, so I guess, whatever that means to him. But I think you should be happy with this, and I genuinely think with the next year coming, you guys should, with the rest of the traded line to come. It's 3 o'clock right now. We have no clue what other players are going to get traded. So if other players do get traded and I feel like it's worthy of a video, I will make a video on it. Please leave a like and subscribe if you made it this far. Have a great day or night when you're watching this. Stay safe. Bye.